want 2 hours of my life back, and I watched this film for free.
He's dead.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's not bad. We're making pretty decent progress.
Yeah, well, as I said, like, this would be... I would probably be on about the 9 or 10 hour mark by about now, because I would have explored everything. I'm going to go get rid of this stick. Because I want my sword back. Give me my sword.
I think you go back through there anyway.
Yeah, I think, because this area is now done with.
Yeah.
Now I can go check out that ladder. Come to potato. Okay, I'll stop.
Pourquoi?
Yeah.
Why'd you keep asking me why?
Pourquoi? The pourquoi.
Pourquoi?
Pourquoi le pourquoi? That's probably not French.
It was Spanish, which isn't that a variation?
No, K is Spanish. K.
Oh yeah.
Pourquoi, pourquoi is French, but I mean, like, pourquoi le pourquoi is probably not French.
Why the why?
Because it's an English idiom in a way, I suppose. See, that's the problem I always have with other languages, is that whenever I think... Well, I guess we get to test out the sword. Not very good so far. Yeah, like, my problem with most languages is obviously my first language is English, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm kind of a verbose person.
I had noticed.
And whenever I'm thinking, like, how would I say such and such a thing in French, my mind automatically goes to trying to basically just use a sentence as I would say it and translate everything into French rather than using the actual French. So of course I wind up chucking a bunch of incorrect words in there because I'm trying to speak French like I speak English. Whereas obviously most languages are generally a little simpler in terms of, like, their verb usage or adjective usage.
Oh.
Although I suppose just because I like thinking about it, like, particularly the French thing, is
Is she going to climb it herself? I thought she was going to use some initiative.
well, she's supposed to. I think she was supposed to follow me, but I guess. Oh, I see. So we wouldn't have been able to get up here anyway. This ladder leads to this door, which only opens after I've done the thing. Ah, fair enough. I was right to ignore this ladder, even though it hurt me inside. Like, again, this is going to seem kind of off tangent, but in fairness, a lot of it does tend to stem from the use of language. My favourite Doctor Who episode is Girl in the Fireplace.
Oh, that is a good episode. I like that one.
Fucking love that episode. It's my all-time favourite Doctor Who episode. And part of that reason, like, one big major reason besides the cool story, the lovely love thing, and the cool premise.
Who's the companion in that one? Is it Rose? No, it can't
it's
be
Martha.
Rose. It is Martha.
Yeah, because it's the... no. It's Rose and Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mickey's there. Yeah, the one moment, I remember the first time I watched it, the one moment that really made me go, this episode is so well thought out, is that moment when he starts putting together everything that's happening, and he turns to, I forget her name.
The French woman, I know what you mean, yeah.
And he says, what age are you? And I was just like, oh, clever. That's right, because quel âge as-tu, French for how old are you, is what age are you? And it's like, yeah, no, he's not just speaking that. It is literally the English version of the language, but it's the other way around. Rather than making it how old are you, as we would say, he's literally saying quel âge as-tu, but in English.
Mm.
And I was just sort of like, yeah, I like that very much. And then of course every other part of the episode is in itself enough that's worthy of love. I think it's worthy of.
I do like Doctor Who. It really annoys me, and I'm not sure if I've had this rant whilst recording or not. On Netflix, they have now added series 9 to the Doctor Who stuff, which is Peter Capaldi's second series.
Yes.
I haven't watched series 8 yet because it annoys me that up until the end of series 7, the start of series 8, they've included Christmas episodes, the specials, alright, not the Red Nose Day specials, the 7-minute things that they've done, which is fine, but they have not included Matt Smith's regeneration episode or the Day of the Doctor or anything. They've just skipped from the last.
Yeah, because the regeneration one was a Christmas episode, if I recall.
But they've had every other Christmas episode to date.
That is kind of weird.
So, and I can't find it anywhere online. So, I'm without the knowledge of how he. Alright, he obviously something happens to him that causes him to regenerate. Fine.
It is a very cool episode. I have to admit.
Oh, this is pretty.
This is that courtyard we were in earlier with the graves. Yeah, we are actually kind of paying attention to the game as well, don't worry. It's just there's a lot of talking going on around it because we like to talk. And I would like to believe that you're not here for my excellent skills, because let's face it, they don't exist. Not in this game. Or actually, now that I think back on it, I haven't really showcased myself very well, have I? My Jack and Daxter was a little bit disastrous towards the middle.
Yeah, your Jack and Daxter was pretty good.
And I completely missed an entire section. No, we're back here.
I don't think we're supposed to be in here.
Were we up here before? Yeah, this is the bridge that we used to get across the area.
Is there nothing over this
So we
side
have to go
apart
this
from
side.
the bridge?
I'm guessing we have to go this side because...
Oh, there's more. Okay, I thought that was an ending wall.
No.
Oh, block.
Huh. There's also that other block in the thing I never did anything with. I guess that was actually pointless, really. I don't need to do anything with it.
So it moves to that thing.
Yeah, probably. And then I get to do some leap of faith shit.
So yeah, I mean, I know John Hurt is in one of the
Yeah,
episodes.
he's in the Day of the Doctor. What time of the Doctor is it?
No, it is called the Day of the Doctor.
Yeah, the 50th special. It's very cool in that.
So I'm presuming you've got to go up on the ledge.
Yeah, I just thought I'd test out the jumping thing.
So yeah, it just annoys me that I didn't get to see Matt Smith, who actually won me over.
Yeah, I have to admit I did grow to like him. Once they got past that whole fish fingers and custard bullshit. Like I was like,
Oh shit!
I was like, yeah, no, he does have some pretty cool moments.
His bow ties are cool.
Just not that either. Or the fez thing, despite the fact that I do own like 3 fezes.
Really?
Fuck. Yeah, I own a multitude of fezes. There, we for a while we had this thing amongst 3 particular of us where we would whenever
slashy.
When one of us went away on holiday, we would buy one of the others a fez.
Oh right, okay.
Such as I had one bought for me, so I bought one for the next guy, and now he's supposed to buy one for the first guy, but that's probably not going to happen. And then I just wound up accruing fezes for some reason, but probably because I like hats. I don't know if you've noticed, but I do have a lot of hats.
I have noticed.
And fezes are hats.
But so yeah, I've avoided watching. I'm actually watching something on Netflix now. It's just called Love.
Okay.
And it's like a comedy drama thing series that's got 2 people in it. One's the main guy is a nerd.
Because everyone has to be a nerd these days.
And the main woman is
Not a nerd.
She'd be defined as a cool person.
Yeah.
Think Big Bang Theory without so many cast members.
I'd rather not.
So I think we've got to go
Down. Back into the courtyard.
yes, so through that way.
Yep. Yeah, if you want me to think about something as being okay, this wasn't the place that I thought it was.
No.
Yeah, if you want
That
me,
is where the rope is, though, isn't it?
that's where a rope is.
Oh, that's not the rope.
That's the rope that goes into the.
Oh, then no.
Yeah, no, if you want me to think of something as being Big Bang Theory, then I automatically am just like, not interested
Shut off,
anymore.
yeah. Head back to the doorway.
It's just not a funny show.
Not anymore.
It never was. Like, I have to admit, when it first appeared, I too was kind of drawn into the whole, that's cool, I get that reference. And then I stopped and I paid attention.
I think it's in there.
Yeah, that's where I went before, remember?
Yeah.
Like, then I stopped and I paid attention. Like, this... Like, can I take a moment just to explain my dislike of the Big Bang Theory? Like,
Yeah.
Would you be accepting
Absolutely. I have fallen out of love with the Big Bang Theory for a long time, especially since, and that resolve has been stiffened. Oh, hello. That resolve has been stiffened by the fact that they are making a spin-off called Young Sheldon.
Yeah, that just sounds uninteresting to me. Cause, like,
Yeah.
I don't like that character to begin with.
No,
I don't like most of the characters to begin with, but I mean, like, my main issue with the Big Bang Theory is the fact that it's trying to be this show about nerds for nerds. And the problem is that they're also trying to appeal to as wide of an audience as possible. Because obviously it's a sitcom, it's a primetime show.
I just realised how precariously that sofa is sat on the edge of that.
Oh, everything's pretty much precariously sat on the edge of the lift.
It's true. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, obviously, because it's a primetime show, it needs to get viewership, so of course it's got to try and appeal to as wide an audience as possible, which is totally understandable, because when you're making something for the sake of making money, you need to be able to make money out of it. You can't just make your obscure thing and hope that everyone likes it. And so basically, you've got this world which, as much as I might go on about how I'm not a nerd...
Oh, I totally am.
I do exist in that world. I am into most of those
sorry,
things.
I'm looking at those posters.
Yeah, okay. See, yeah, I exist in that world. I wouldn't classify myself as a nerd, but, wow, I just went to go and R2 dodge out of that because of Nier Automata. I've been waiting for a moment like that. It's like when I was first...
Oh, shit!
Fuck you!
Fuck, good thing you just saved.
Shit. But it's also not bullshit, but you know. Of course I'm going to be pissed.
Fuck!
Yeah, like when I first started playing Nier Automata, I kept hitting circle to dodge because of all the time I was playing Bloodborne. But yeah, so it's designed to appeal to a specific demographic of people, of which I guess I fall into a category similar to, if not actually into.
Yeah.
Again, on my personal opinions, I wouldn't call myself a nerd, but that's a discussion for another day. So obviously, as a result, they draw in influence and jokes from a number of similar subjects, and also I was supposed to go upstairs and down there. Never mind, this whole thing is wrong.
I wonder if they follow you.
No, they don't follow me out here. So, the best example I can come up with actually is from an episode that I saw around my sister's, because my sister is a big fan of it, and she tends to have it on every Thursday because that's when the new episodes come up and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm usually there at around about the same time, so
More often than not.
I see it because it's
it's down there, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, this episode came on a couple of weeks ago. It was something to do with they were going camping or whatever. And
Bye.
everyone was all sort of like, oh, nerds are going camping, haha, what a funny joke. And Penny walks into the room and... Fuck, is it Leonard?
Leonard's her husband.
Yeah, Leonard is stood there getting ready and everything. And she walks in and she goes, oh. She sees he's wearing a baseball cap. She says something along the lines of, oh, that's cool. What team are you supporting? And of course, he turns around and says, it's Hufflepuff from Harry Potter.
Okay.
Now, obviously, the intention of the joke is, haha, you thought it was a sports thing, but it's actually a nerd thing because it's Harry Potter. And I have no major issue with that. That is precisely, the recipe for humor. You're taking something which is...
Nice leap, by the way.
Yeah, I thought so. You're taking something which is, commonly known, in this case, obviously, sports, and the fact that sports fans tend to wear baseball caps because they're called specifically baseball caps because of a sport. And the joke is obviously that it's not a sports thing. But basically what that... I mean, for a start, listen to the writing of it, because that is a verbatim quote. It's Hufflepuff from Harry Potter. See, now, for a start, it's explaining itself. It's not being funny for the sake of being funny. It's saying, check out this nerd thing.
Oh, shit.
And this nerd thing happens to be a Harry Potter reference. If it was truly trying to appeal to the demographic of people who would be into that, there would be no need to say Hufflepuff from Harry Potter. They could just say Hufflepuff. And of course, people would be like, oh, that's funny because it's Hufflepuff. And again, if you want to make it a truly fun and inside joke, you'd go a step further and say something like, oh, it's the Chudley Cannons.
Yeah.
Refer to something within the universe
Yep.
that obviously hardcore fans would understand, but of course that would not be an easily approachable joke because 90% of people who like Harry Potter wouldn't get what... I know this is a gross generalization, so I apologise if I offend someone by saying that, but the majority of your average fans of the Harry Potter films, because they are fun and enjoyable children's and young adult movies and enjoyable books and all that, wouldn't get it's Chudley Cannons as a reference, because, you know, that's not a surface level thing. And the fact that this show relies entirely on obvious and basic observations...
I don't think you climbed up the rope enough.
I was just checking out that swinging room, so I guess I didn't check out if there was anything at the top of it. But.
Yeah, it just... The problem with...
But yeah, so like it falls apart based upon the fact that it is trying to appeal to everyone while also trying to appeal specifically to a certain type of person that it's also trying to emulate.
Yeah.
And again, like the whole fish out of water thing is a very popular and common trope. Oh, this rope, okay. You know, like...
So through there.
Obviously, if you're going to take it in terms of like an actual, like, from an academic point of view, obviously Penny is supposed to be the everyman character that everyone associates with, because no one can breach into the world of nerds. So she is the viewpoint through which everyone who isn't in that kind of social demographic is able to view what's going on. And of course, because she doesn't know these things, obviously that gives them a reason to explain things, because she doesn't get it. And that's fair enough, that makes sense. That's how those characters are supposed to exist. But at a certain point, she will have been there long enough that she would start to understand those things.
Yeah.
And if you're going to show a degree of character growth, like, you're going to want to not have the characters just be like, oh, it's X thing from Y franchise.
Yeah.
You know, that it detracts from the humour. It assumes that your audience doesn't know what's going on. And if it wants to be the show that it wants to be, what it needs to do is choose, do I want to be, you know, like, accessible to everyone, in which case change the premise and don't be a show about such a niche, like, type of people.
Yeah.
Or go all in and just focus entirely on those subtle and clever references to things. You know, make it all Chudley Cannons or specific Star Trek episode references. And also, this is another minor gripe of mine, I suppose, widen your fucking knowledge base. Not you, obviously, for this show. Like, they talk about Star Wars.
I thought my knowledge base was quite good.
They talk about Harry Potter, they talk about Star Trek, and they talk about Halo and stuff like that. Like, again, like, there was an episode, I remember this moment where Sheldon receives a box or something, and in it is his old Nintendo 64.
Right.
And he's like, this line sticks in my head. Because, like, I never owned a Nintendo 64.
No.
But even I know this is incorrect.
Okay.
His line is, my mum sent the memory card, we can carry on where I left off in Super Mario 64. Nintendo 64 doesn't have a memory card. It saves it to the cartridge.
Yeah.
If it was a PlayStation, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But again, they're not gonna. As much as PlayStation is a widespread thing nowadays, nerds, or at least the show's creators' idea of a nerd, will more better associate with a Nintendo product because it's less mainstream than
a PlayStation or an Xbox.
Despite being the most mainstream console.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Well, Nintendo has always outsold everything ever.
Yeah.
Well, except for the Wii U and the Wii.
But that's a Nintendo console. Oh, you mean they haven't outsold the PS3 or the Xbox or what
Yeah,
have you?
but like the Nintendo 3DS is the highest. I think the 3DS is the highest selling console ever, or something. Yeah. So Nintendo are, they're there. They're everywhere. Everyone knows what a Nintendo is. Everyone may know what a PlayStation or an Xbox is, but you're more likely to own a Nintendo console, be it a handheld or the actual, like a Wii or anything.
Or anything
You're
like
more
that.
likely to own a Nintendo console than you are a Sony
PlayStation
or an
or
Xbox
Xbox.
console. Unless you are specifically into those things, because obviously, as we've said before, I am a massive Sony fanboy. I have my PS1, I have two PS2s, I have two PS3s, I have my PS4, I have a
Your
PSP,
Vita.
and I have a Vita. Like, I'm gonna be getting a Vita TV, and I'm probably, just for the sake of completing the collection, gonna get a PS1 one. Like the rounded small version.
Oh, the white one.
Yeah, for the sake of having all of them in my collection because I'm a fanboy. So, like, obviously I get that, and they want to appeal to those kinds of audiences rather than. What is this? What do you mean no? Okay, that's what you mean no. So yeah, that is my main problem with The Big Bang Theory and why I don't like it. And those are some suggestions that they could use to make it more appealing to someone like me who, again, would fall into the category of people that they're trying to aim for, rather than assisting in the mass proliferation of nerd as a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Which is obviously something we've been seeing a lot in the last 5 years.
I mean, what annoys me with The Big Bang Theory in particular is there is a significant lack of character build.
I can certainly believe that, because from what I've again, like a patchy knowledge I have of it, everyone is still the same in the current series as they were back when I used to watch it, and that is an absolute stagnation of character.
The biggest one is Sheldon, because he's ridiculously logical and incredibly smart, and that's his. Oh shit!
Fuck. Okay, where am I?
Oh, I don't know. This bit's new.
I haven't fully explored this area yet, so I don't even know what I was doing.
So yeah, he's ridiculously smart. He's ridiculously logical, and he's basically, when the show starts, he has little or no emotion for anyone except for the women in his family. So what annoys me is he doesn't. Oh god, no!
I
don't
thought I was.
no.
I thought I was on the same level. So fuck.
Oh, isn't that the door she's meant to go through?
That's the door we couldn't open before. I know where we are. Now we go back down and we can come back in. Oh, look at us.
Okay.
Oh, making the progress. Working together, solving the problems.
It's a pup named Scooby-Doo.
No, that was a Kimmy Schmidt reference.
Never seen any Kimmy Schmidt.
You really
Anyway.
should. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, there's a really... There's a serious lack of character development in that show. Leonard is the one that, alright, he gets the girl. Fine. Howard is the one that's had most character development because he's stopped being a perv, he's gotten married, he's got a baby.
But see, now you've pointed all those things out, I have to admit, like, again, this is just based on the fact that I've just seen a couple of random independent episodes lately, but in a way, I think you could probably argue that Sheldon has actually had the most character development on account of the fact that he is... Like, again, this is something that was just happening when I was around my sister's last, but there was an episode where he... Again, this is probably going to be spoiler territory for some people, but this is one of those things that I don't give a fuck about. He'd broken up with, what's her name?
Amy.
And Leonard was moving out. And he was freaking out about the fact that he gave a shit about everything. Like, he's like, before I met you guys, I didn't care about the fact that I would be living alone or anything like that, and it was upsetting him. And it's like, okay, that is character development. But when it comes down to it, a lot of them are still the same irritating characters to begin with. And that's a big problem. But sorry, carry on.
And they've just made Raj, like... For some reason, Raj at the start of the series couldn't talk to women because he had selective mutism.
Yeah, because of course nerds can't talk to women, and that's funny.
Unless he was drunk. so
Yeah.
social inhibitor, I guess. And then they made it so he could talk to girls without the use of alcohol. Fine, he's obviously been around the women in his social group. Have obviously brought him out of that, and they've made him. Oh shit! That must have hit his bum. And that's made him more accessible. But now what they've done is just they've just made him completely camp. And I haven't got a problem with camp characters or camp people in general. What I have a problem with is turning a selective mute in like who has trouble talking to women into making this character so almost on the flip side of the coin. I don't know that his character has never up until the point where we could talk to him without alcohol has never been camp.
I have to admit, like, again, from the bits that I've seen around my sisters, he does seem to be a lot more gay these days.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the joke with regards to him now, rather than, oh, he can't talk to people.
Yeah.
And again, that in itself is also a problem.
Yeah.
But, where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
I think she needs to go back down
Oh yeah, no, we
to
need
get through the door.
now we've got that open, we can...
Oh shit!
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did.
I
actually
and then have you ever seen an episode with Stuart, the comic book shop owner?
Yeah, like, he is a character I just cannot stand.
Right at the start, when
He's
he was
always
first
going on about suicide, isn't he?
yeah,
Like,
when he was introduced in the show, God, I thought you died.
the fuck, where am I now?
Oh, you just back up. What the fuck?
I didn't mean to do that. I seem to have gone to a completely incorrect place.
Okay, see if she'll follow you. Oh, we're here
This is
anyway.
where I need to get to. No, wait, Oh, no, I'm back here! Oh, for fuck's sake. I gotta go all the way back around again.
Jesus.
Well, because I accidentally
But
pressed the wrong button.
Stuart's character has been... When he was introduced, he was seen as a confident comic book shop owner, which is great.
I think I might be fucked.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, that's an interesting development, because...
Oh,
wait,
fine.
what? You wouldn't do this earlier? What the hell? What the fuck? I tried doing that earlier.
But
Oh,
no, they've just
whatever.
made his character... They've, like, given him... They give him 5 or 6 lines per episode, and he's like, I want to kill myself because my comic book shop's failing and nobody likes me. That's not funny.
No.
That's not how you want to see a character develop.
It isn't development. That is a cry for help, and they're just literally just sort of making fun of the fact that he's suicidal. Isn't that hilarious? Oh, nerds have such a hard life.
Yeah.
Like, dude's depressed.
Leave him
He's
the fuck alone.
suicidal. Give him help.
So,
Drop.
right, where is she now?
She's
There.
down at the bottom of that.
Right, so
Thankfully, she
go
decided...
through there.
Right.
Go through that door.
Take my hand. Come back to the land. Let's get away.
Go
Just
through
for
the
one
door.
day. Let me see you straight.
Right, now we're where we need to be, I think.
Yes. Now we can go down here, and now we can go, and there's a bench and things.
Oh, she's not going to follow you.
No, of course she's not. Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Oh,
Get
Daisy
out of there.
Corner.
This is a nice cutscene and all, but... Oh,
Oh, for
okay.
Fuck you.
Go down before she
Yeah,
steps back
before
up.
she moves. Jesus Christ. But yeah, the Big Bang Theory, it's just gone way downhill for me. It's another Chuck Lorre show. And like they did with 2.5 Men, they took it past its point.
Yeah, see... I'm still not entirely
Oh, she
sure.
doesn't want your help. She doesn't want it. She's like, fuck you, man.
I'm not
I'm a
entirely
strong,
sh-
independent... Wait, no. Wait,
I'm not
what's
entirely
going on?
sure where I stand with regards to 2.5 Men, because I actually... Okay, she's doing herself. Fair enough. Because I actually enjoyed 2.5 Men, and I watched like the first season and a half with
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, and
Yeah.
I liked it. Probably because... Okay, this is...
Now there's bad character development for you.
This is going to be confession time.
Okay.
Like, It's really weird how the transition from Charlie Sheen to Ashton Kutcher took place at a time in my life when I went and transitioned from regularly drinking alcohol, again this is confession time, to regularly smoking weed.
Okay.
And along with the character change, so too did that. Because obviously Charlie's major thing was, he used to drink a lot.
Yeah.
Walden, yeah. His main thing is he smokes a lot of weed when he's not being a giant nerd or whatever. So like that was always weird to me that that happened. So yeah, like I think I did kind of find a bit more of an appeal based on that because it happened at that weird transition in my life, and like a part of me does still kind of like that show, but I can also easily point out so many of its massive flaws. Like it was a barely like relatable show to begin with. Like, yes, there are people like that out there, and the 10 or 12 people who live that kind of lifestyle were probably like, oh yeah, no, I get that, that's cool. But for the rest of us, it is kind of a wish fulfillment type deal where you're just watching this middle-aged alcoholic toilet scum of a man just go off and live that kind of life, and I suppose there is kind of that appeal on it, and like Alan as a character I just fucking hate. I always have, always
I
will.
quite like him in the first couple of series until he starts becoming a real
Psychopath.
mooch.
Now he has always been that way. Like he has not had character development other than the fact that he's gotten worse. Like in fairness, when you get to like when Ashton Kutcher comes in, he is literally just at that point of a human parasite.
Yeah.
Like refusing to leave the house simply because it's...
Is he back through that door on the other end of the bridge?
Probably. I mean, she can't follow me right now, but
No.
I think that leads back to... Oh, that just leads back to here.
Jump into the courtyards.
I still don't know what this box is for, so...
I'm about to tell you.
Well, don't, because I'm still looking for stuff. In fact, it might even be a time to transition to end, I think, because we have been going... Yeah, we'll call it on this, I think, because we're about running out of time, and there's a bunch of other things I need to explore. So basically, it'd be a good way of coming back at it fresh next time, I'd say.
Okay.
I didn't realise I was inadvertently making progress.